the reason we won that game is special teams production, man, our return game. The units, kickoff return and punt return. Certainly Khalif Raymond was huge. Dorsey, another one. Jack Fox had a big day for us. We covered well. I thought Kendall Vildor really showed up at the gunner on the outside. The 4 takeaways on defense, and then our 5 of 5 in the red zone. I mean, that was why we won that game and had the production we did. Talked about it. There's little things we do have to clean up fundamentally. We got to get better at. We did fumble the ball. We were fortunate that none of them cost us. We were able to recover them on our end, and so we have areas to improve, and we will. But I was really proud of the way the guys fought. It was the next game. We talked about improvement. We did that. That's 6 wins, and now it's on to the division. Just stay with me here. So, I thought Kirby, Amik really played top-notch football. Amik punching out. Those things we talk about all the time, man. And get those 2 knockouts was huge for us. Takes effort and detail, urgency to get that done. We did. Kirby was all over the field, very productive. He's been very productive. Jack showed up. Mac showed up. Reeder showed up. Those guys were outstanding. I thought on offense, Gibbs, of course, he was explosive. Did some really good things. Really only had one bad play, and that was in protection. But Saint and David Montgomery, Laporta, and Frank really stood out. And then special teams, we really talked about it. Leaf was a game changer, man. I mean, he really took that game over. Because, look, there was some good blocks in there, but so much of it was what he was able to do and the way he hit it and finished on it. But Bates did a good job. Germ did a good job. Dorsey, we already talked about Vildor, Jack Campbell, Neiman, Nowowski, Craig Reynolds, and then Zylstra. Zylstra and Brock both had to fill in for Rodrigo when he went down on teams. They helped in a big way. So that was good. That was real good. And then, like I said, when you start the game and you fizzle out, but your defense gets an interception, you turn it into a touchdown. Defensively, you need a little help, and then the offense scores, and then your special teams gets a 72-yard touchdown, 72 yards on the kickoff return with Dorsey. And then offensively, you answer it back up with a touchdown. Defense, you answer that back with an interception. Offense then takes those and turns it into 7. Then your special teams gets a 64-yard punt return, and your offense turns that into 7 points. And then your defense basically goes 5 and out at the end of a half. They had it first down at the 7. We get a penalty. They don't get in, and then 4 tries there, and we hold them and go in at halftime and don't let them score. That was big. So total team performance. That is the name of the game. Is the team playing off each other, and that's what we did. It's a good win.
Dan, I know you said that you and Brad are not going to rush yourselves or be in a hurry to look for defensive end help. Looked like you struggled to get pressure yesterday from the D-line. 2 straight games without a sack from the D-line. How much more of a concern is that? And you have a week before the trade deadline. Are you guys any more urgent right now to find some help?
No. I mean, we know when the deadline is. So, we've known what that is. We're still talking about it, and they're still working through it. I'm not concerned. There's other ways of creating pressure, and would you like a little more? Yeah, we'd like a little bit more. But there was a number of plays in there, too, where they got the ball out of their hand. They had some empty that they showed. We thought they'd do a little bit. They did more than we thought, so the ball comes out pretty quick. They had a couple of things where they were attacking us in man coverage that were good, so you can get the ball out. But we're aware, and we're still looking at it. But, no, I wouldn't say we're in panic mode.
When you look at the, little bit of a struggle yesterday, generating that pass rush pressure against the Titans, do you ever think about, what you're really looking for maybe is help for the playoffs? You're going to be facing probably elite teams there that have a lower sack rate. You're going to if you're struggling against the Titans, you ever think like this is maybe going to be a problem we can't bandage together with help from other places? We need
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think we take everything into consideration. I do. But I also know this. If I step back for a minute and you look through this league, man, there's a ton of injuries right now that are going on. And they do every year throughout this league. So, every team's got warts. Every one of them. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter what your record is. And it's about how do you cover those up? How do you help? How do you do the best that you can to cover up some of your deficiencies? That's the name of the game. And, we talk about Hutch. We're not going to be able to replace Hutch, but there's other things that we can do. And you know what? You put a bigger burden on your back end is what you got to do. And we've done that, and they've risen to the challenge. Has it been perfect? No, but we are getting takeaways, which is huge. And when your special teams plays that way in your offense, then in all collectively, man, we play pretty good. AG's doing a great job, man. Every week, it's been a different game plan, and it's been a different way to attack the opponent, and it's been successful. But look, we got a week here. We'll keep looking and see if something fits.
Just to be clear, you don't feel there's anything imminent on the trade front, like in the next 24 hours? Nothing that Brad's come to you with?
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
What did you think of Muhammad yesterday?
No, seriously though, has he come to you with something that you?
Yeah, it could be.
What did you think of Muhammad yesterday?
Man, he did some things for us. He was active. He played aggressive. He was physical. And so, he went in there and really gave us a good day's work, which is exactly what we talked about. There's a couple of things where we got to clean up mentally with him, And like you brought up some of the rush, Carlo, there was about 3 of them in there where we get a little bit better maybe out of a couple of things he does, then it may help around the perimeter with Mac and some of those other things. So those are just little things to clean up. But, man, I thought he came in and gave us a good day's work, and it's certainly something to build off of.
Out of 3, were you able to get some backups in there in the fourth quarter? How valuable are those reps to young players like Ennis or Hendon, who aren't otherwise, seeing offensive or defensive snaps?
They're very valuable, and they're so rare. I mean, it's a rarity to be able to do that, and the fact we've been able to do that now 2 games, but they're valuable reps, and you want those players to understand. I think most of them do, but like for Hooker, these are real big time reps, and to get those, Nice goes in there and plays center. One of the first things he's got to block Simmons. Those things, that's how you really grow, is to get those real time reps against really good football players. So they've been valuable. Certainly we want to be better. I mean, we had 2 3 and outs offensively. You need to be able to convert there and keep moving the ball, and that helps. So that's what's unfortunate. I mean, we pulled in the fourth quarter. We only had 6 plays. But defensively, Wingo got a good load in there, and I thought did some really good things. Among other guys. Got Neiman in the game. He's a veteran, but he stepped up, did a good job. Dorson Vildor, and then Rake played the nickel for us. Ennis played the nickel and showed up. So they're valuable.
You mentioned Hutchinson. He was at the game yesterday. We saw him on the big screen. Did he talk to the team at all this weekend? Is that in the plans, for him to, I know he's still obviously recovering. He's got to keep it like that.
No, I mean, we're not, nothing like that. He knows. I mean, look, he comes in, he gets treatment, and he's here. The guys still see him. But he's also that, when you're injured and you're in that rehab mode trying to come back, that's really, you're kind of in that world. But yet, so you're not in everything that the whole team's doing, but yet you're here and you're in the building. They still see each other, but it's a weird place to be in because it's, you're not playing, and you're not doing everything the team's doing, but yet, you're trying to work your way back and get healthy and all those things. So he's around.
You mentioned the goal line stand. It's not the first time you guys have been able to kind of leverage some momentum off one of those. I guess just what is the key to you guys been able to have success in that area this year?
Just doing your job. We went in there and we get pretty heavy because we don't want you to run it, and that means you're putting a stress on the coverage. But yet there's not a lot of grass back there, right? There's only 10 yards. And so we put a lot on those coverage guys too. And so we've been able to do that, man. We're pretty stout in the middle there. We've been able to set edges, and BB and Carlton, those guys have done a good job in coverage. And so it just makes it hard, You'd rather not to say that, man, you got 4 cracks at it at the one, and the odds goes to the offense. And so to be able to make that stop at the one, I mean, the first answer is don't let them get on the one. That's your first if you're playing defense, because that's hard. So that was impressive. And to be able to go in at halftime and not allow them to score, man, that's a boost. And that's the best thing since we played the Chargers last year. Remember, we stopped them, I don't know what it was. It felt like 7 times, and then the 8th one they got in there. But, I mean, we were down there a long time battling. So that was good, man. Those guys fought in there.
Equal. Is that one of the stranger games that you've seen to have been a part of? 5 drives of 26 yards or less that ended in touchdowns, and goes to your ability to adapt to whatever you need?
Yeah, that was, I have not, that I can think of, ever been a part of a game quite like that, at least not on the winning side. That was unbelievable. Now, we'll take it. I mean, it was, to get those kind of returns that we got, and you would love to have that type of production out of your special teams every week, but that's not the reality, so when you get that much more above and beyond, man, it takes a huge strain off the rest of the team. It's always a reminder, and Phip does a hell of a job, man. He's been here since the beginning, and I mean, nobody puts more in it than Phip does, and those guys love him, they respect him, they play hard, and they're well coached. So it's awesome, man.
Speaking of Phip, what has he meant to this operation? Like you mentioned, been here 4 years. So I got the game ball last night. How cool was that moment, and what's he meant to this organization?
He's meant a ton, and so much of the attention goes to Ben and AG. Because what they've been able to do, and that's where most of the plays go to in a game. But, man, Phip is every bit as important as those guys are. And, from the time that I was able to get him here and get him signed out of Philly, I mean, I was fortunate. It just happened to work out. Everything lined right because Phip's a hell of a coach. And so since he's been here, he's just and the guy loves football, and he coaches it with passion. He's always got a damn good plan for the opponent, and he's crystal clear in what he's looking for, what he thinks is going to work. Those guys believe it, they buy in, and they put all-out effort into it. And so, he's inspiring. He's inspiring, and he's just another one of the reasons why we win around here is because of him.
It's been Zylstra instead of Hesse 2 weeks in a row. Just wondering if that was matchup based or what you guys saw there.
Yeah, well, it was. I would say the biggest reason is because Zylstra has really improved over the last, call it month, 3 or 4 weeks. Man, he was hard to ignore in practice. We felt like, he's a pretty good athlete, and every week, man, he was giving our defense fits on the scout team, and that's what we were looking for through training camp. And I told him the week before we elevated, I said, I see you, and you're getting better and better and better, the run game and pass game. And so we felt like it's time to give him another opportunity, and he's been good for us.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.